This is the tragic and heartbreaking story of Aliana DeFries. Aliana DeFries was the daughter of Damon DeFries and Donisha Cooper. Although Aliana's parents were no longer together, they remained cordial enough to share the responsibility of raising Aliana in two separate households. Aliana was in the 7th grade and attended Village Prep Woodland Hills in Cleveland, Ohio. She was 14 years old and had a developmental disability, which is described as a diverse group of conditions one may have due to an impairment in physical, learning, language, or behavioral areas. These conditions often surface during the developmental period of adolescence and may impact day-to-day functioning. Once developed, these conditions may last throughout a person's entire lifetime. Despite this, Aliana was a high-functioning kid who was smart, and she would take the bus to school, which was a mode of transportation that her mother didn't approve of, but due to circumstance, and against her better judgment, she allowed it. But on January 26, 2017, all of those fears would come rushing back to the surface. It was around 4 p.m. when Aliana's mother became concerned that she hadn't returned home from school. So she makes a phone call to Aliana's stepmother, Watanya. "Did you all pick up Aliana from school? Because she never came home," she asked. After Watanya responds and tells her no, Donisha immediately hangs up and contacts the school, where they confirm all of her motherly instincts and fears. They tell her that Aliana DeFries never made it to school that morning. I imagine that hearing this caused her heart to sink to the bottom of her stomach. It's a parent's worst nightmare come to life. Donisha, now in a panic, anxiously calls 911 to report Aliana missing.
Cleveland 911 dispatcher Milan, please fire ambulance. I want to report a missing child. How old is the child? 14. And what's the child's name? Aliana DeFries. I put her on the RTA this morning. I put her on the bus to school. And she never checked in for school. And she never made it to school this morning at all? No. Has she ever done this before? No. She's ever ran away before or did this, nothing like this before? No. Okay. She's trying to get his car over to you now. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
A citywide search is launched in hopes of finding Aliana somewhere alive. In order to obtain any clues as to her last known whereabouts, investigators decided to retrace her steps, starting with the last place she was seen, the RTA city bus. And they're in luck, because the RTA transit system has a working camera system in place that records every trip made that day. And on the morning of January 26, 2017, CCTV shows Aliana boarding the city bus. As investigators watch intently to see who she may have come into contact with, they discover another young student that appears on camera speaking to Aliana. The body posture and facial expressions of the young man and Aliana tell investigators that they both know one another well.